Well, welcome viewers, Dr. J.W. Ayoub, Theologist. During the week I was sent some pictures of the Muslim people down at Lakemba. Just for those that don't know, I was born in Auburn, Sydney, at the Auburn District Hospital. Ran the streets as a young 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old of Flemington, South Strathfield. We used to run and play in the brickyard. I don't even know where it was. We'd run all the way to Chullora. We were there when the Flemington markets were being built. Used to run around with the Turkish boys and all the different religions. I was lucky enough to have my parents move to the Central Coast, where I became a surfer, fisherman, and was lucky enough to have a water life, unlike so many that miss that. I understand the different religions. I've got some very close builder friends that I have respect for that are Muslims that help me to try and understand Bondi and all the rest of it. And then on the other side, I've got Jewish friends as well that tried to help me to come to terms with the different elements of how this works. And unfortunately for the Muslims, there are texts in there that if you radicalize them, they will cause violence. And of course there's some Muslims, like there is Christians, that become radicalized. Like there's Christians. I was an evangelist and prison minister in prison ministry for 12 to 15 years, street ministry for 12 years. And Christians can become radicalized as well, but not so much in the physical sense, in the spiritual sense, when you aren't careful about how you describe heaven and hell and the trauma that can cause people if it's not delivered properly. Here we see the Christians gathering, and there's not the Christians, I do ask for your apology, the Muslims gathering down at Lakemba. But it was relative to what I would understand without asking any of them, a Muslim holiday, not a holiday ritual, where they celebrate a certain Muslim ritual, which I'm not familiar with because I'm not Muslim, but I know they're out on the street for that reason. So I wanted to do this outline, and I've called it When the Streets Became a Question, because a lot of people that don't understand this begin asking questions. Because there's a narrative that runs in many ways against the Muslims, and due to the trauma that's been caused by Islamic radical fanatical ideology, that anything like this does get interpreted as a covert message of assent. We're ascending our authority over you by standing on the streets, and we're letting you know we're here, but we're not doing anything. No. This is part of, and somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, Eid al-Adha celebrations. So both religions contain ordinary people wrestling with the same inner human battles, be it Christianity or Islam. Pride, fear, family pressure, desire, guilt, duty, loneliness, temptation, identity, ideologies, shame, hope, and the longing to be accepted by God. And the stronger outline should not frame Muslims as a block and Christians as a block, because you've got to understand as well, there's a lot of people in society that just don't like Christians. They just don't like Christians. So the Jews, the Muslims, and the Christians all have varying elements of opposition. But where the Muslims stand out. And again, I've got to say this just to be fair, try and get across with therapy. The Christians, a fanatical Christian will come up to you and tell you you're going to hell. Maybe a radical Jew will tell you that Jesus isn't the Messiah. The Muslims will say that as well. But for the Muslim, there is a element that causes violence. And I think that's what they're trying to resolve. But for the majority, that's not so. Just like for the Christians, they aren't all running around preaching hell. And so you can ride the whole religion off, or you can just stay away from it altogether and those involved in it. Or if you've got the time and you want to try and understand it, you can create a way of trying to understand. I can't say I fully understand Islam yet, but I can understand the humanity amongst the people. Now, you've got to understand, if people are pushed enough like the Jews, there's going to be an element of sensitivity. And it's the same with the Muslims. And there has to be a balance. But at the end of the day, it's a Christian country. And I don't say that in a standover fashion. I say that in a way in which that has to be ultimately respected. Because it's the Christian ideology that has gotten Australia where it is. And once the Christianity goes, unfortunately, like it or leave it, everything else will go. We can see this in some of the laws that have passed that haven't been fundamentally Christian, and we've seen micro-incremental elements of society turn into catastrophe. So am I saying one's better than the other? No. What I am saying is you can be Muslim, you can be Jewish, you can be whatever you like. But be smart enough to know that Australia is where it is because it's built on Christian fundamental values. That's smart. Nobody's asking you to convert. But unfortunately what happens is religious ideology wants to start impressing society with its ways. It can do a better job. No. Western society has proven there is no better job, there is no better way than the Christian way. Does that mean you have to convert? No, but if you've got common sense, you'll realise, leave it alone. Leave the fundamental construction, the constitutional structure of Australia alone, because that's what protects it. As soon as the Christian divine sovereignty that protects the nation is undermined, as I said before, we've seen it in incremental cells amongst political decisions that have gone very bad, catastrophic, that weren't based on Christian fundamental values. It collapsed. So what's the balance here? Be whatever you like, but have the sense to know Western civilization has made it safely, relatively safely, and unscathed where it is due to the Christian ideology. Love your neighbour as yourself. You can take it or leave it, but if you really want to be wise, do all this stuff, but do not. If you really want to be wise, try and change the Christian protections that we have in the nation. Because every time somebody tries to do that, it has never ended well. And I challenge anybody to fairly and squarely debate that. Just email me or PM me and we'll debate that. So the stronger outline here should not frame Muslims as a bloc and Christians as a bloc. It should show people inside both traditions trying to live faithfully under human weakness. A Muslim may stand in public prayer while privately carrying fear, temptation, family burden, guilt, discipline, longing, and hope. A Christian may watch, or some other person in the public may watch from a distance while privately carrying doubt, retreat, resentment, guilt, lost conviction, and the ache of spiritual weakness. The point is, both are human. Both are morally fragile. Both are searching for order. Both want peace. Yet the uniqueness of each religion remains. Just want to say very carefully and with sensitivity about Bondi, the gentleman that took the gun off one of the shooters and then got shot himself, he survived. He was Muslim, right? And that caused a lot of people to stop and think for a minute. We've got Muslims shooting people and we've got Muslims saving people. Unfortunately, I think later his brothers stole a lot of the money that he got from him. So on the one hand, you've got a lifesaver, and then on the other hand, you've got some thieves. Islam often expresses peace through submission, communal discipline, visible unity, prayer rhythm, family honor, and structured obedience. Christianity expresses peace through reconciliation with God through Christ, through forgiveness, conscience, mercy, inward renewal, and neighbourhood love and grace. And the question is not whether either community contains sincere people. The question is what each faith ultimately teaches people to become when it enters public life. I cannot say a bad word about the Muslim men that I've worked with. No. That's my experience. I just can't. I can't. It wouldn't be. I just can't. There's nothing. They've always looked after me. They've always paid me. The Muslim in the streets may be seeking submission before God. The Christian watching may be seeking faithfulness before Christ. Both may carry the same human ache beneath different theological structures. Both may want peace. Both may fear disorder. Both may understand the other. Both may not understand the other. But the street still asks the deeper question. Can a nation honour religious freedom, preserve civic order, and still tell the truth about the different visions of peace each religion brings into public life? I'm Dr. J.W. Ayoub, theologist since 1994. Like and subscribe to help the channel. Subscribe and comment to educate me, please, and share the video to help somebody else.